Even as these bombs rained down on Japan's cities, Lemay had pieced together the Offensive of Fire, a campaign that in just 11 days would put to the torch 29 square miles of urban area. In the following months, more fire raids paired with an extensive aerial mining campaign would choke and starve the nation. Removing all guns and ammunition except the tail armament and leaving the gunners behind would mean a huge saving in weight, allowing more payload of the new M69 incendiary firebombs. At night, the 29s would approach the target at 5,000 to 8,000 feet in single file, guided by Pathfinder B-29s, marking the target with a huge cross of fire. Lemay observed that Japanese anti-aircraft guns were not greatly effective at low to medium altitudes, and their night fighter capabilities were very limited. Lower altitudes meant more range, near to 3 times greater payload, and less strain on the engines. Engine fatigue was perhaps the worst enemy during these high-altitude raids. These factors formed the base of the Lemay treatment. Flying back to the Marianas after missions, the crews now had the haven of Iwo Jima for emergency landings. Many dropped in where before it was a long limp home, with every chance of a ditching in the vast Pacific and little chance of rescue. Iwo was a godsend. In the first Great Fire Raid, 14 aircraft out of the 279 29s sent out fell to a similar fate. Bad losses, but in comparison minor. For that raid, during the night of the 9th of March 1945, is considered the single most destructive air raid ever, outdoing the infamous Dresden raids and both atomic attacks. Unusually high winds that night fanned the many fires into a storm. Violent air currents thrust the bombers up thousands of feet, their fuselages blackened by smoke. Tokyo could be seen glowing 40 miles away. This is not Hiroshima. In one night, nearly 16 square miles, 25% of all the buildings in Tokyo were destroyed. 1 million homeless, 150,000 dead, injured, or missing. The Lemay treatment was a terrifying success.